Imagine standing beside a fire, tens of thousands of years ago. The night air is cold, the stars stretch endlessly above you, and the world feels unimaginably vast. Somewhere far away, beyond forests, mountains, or rivers, other people are living their lives. They might be friends, family, or perhaps enemies. But there is one problem every early human understood very well: distance. Your voice cannot travel far enough to reach them. Your feet might carry you there eventually, but it could take days. And sometimes a message cannot wait that long. A warning about danger, the arrival of a hunting party, or news that could save lives must travel faster than a human runner. At some point in our distant past, someone had a simple but brilliant idea. Instead of letting a fire burn quietly, they threw damp leaves or green branches onto the flames. Thick smoke began rising high into the sky, where it could be seen from far away. With practice, people learned to control the smoke, sending short bursts or long plumes that carried meaning. One column might signal danger. 2 might mean everything is safe. 3 could call people together quickly. It was the earliest form of long-distance communication humanity ever created. It was primitive, unreliable, and completely dependent on weather, but it worked. For the first time, humans discovered that information could travel farther than the human voice. Across the world, different cultures began to develop their own versions of smoke signaling. On the vast plains of North America, many Native American tribes used smoke to communicate across great distances. From hilltops or high cliffs, warriors could warn nearby villages about approaching enemies or signal the success of a hunt. Far away in Asia, another civilization mastered the art of sending signals through the sky. Along the Great Wall of China, watchtowers stood at regular intervals, forming an enormous defensive network that stretched thousands of kilometers. As early as 200 BCE, Chinese soldiers used smoke signals to warn about incoming invasions. Historical records describe how they burned a mixture of wolf dung and straw because it produced especially thick and dark smoke that could be seen from very far away. When one tower saw the smoke of another tower in the distance, the soldiers would immediately light their own signal fire. In this way, a warning could travel along the wall in a matter of minutes, covering distances that would otherwise take days on horseback. At night, when smoke was invisible, beacon fires replaced it. Bright flames would leap into the darkness, forming a chain of signals stretching across mountains and valleys. In some places, drums and horns were also used, their deep sounds echoing across the landscape. These systems were surprisingly sophisticated, but they still had serious limitations. Smoke could be blown away by strong winds. Rain could extinguish fires. Clouds and fog could hide signals completely. Communication was still at the mercy of nature. As civilizations grew larger and more complex, the need for better communication became increasingly urgent. Armies needed faster coordination. Governments needed reliable ways to send orders. Merchants wanted quicker news from distant markets. Around 150 BCE, the Greek historian Polybius described a fascinating solution to this problem. Instead of sending simple smoke signals, his system used pairs of torches, arranged in specific patterns, to represent letters of the alphabet. With this method, messages were no longer limited to simple warnings. Entire sentences could be spelled out using coded signals of light. This was a revolutionary idea. For the first time, long-distance communication was capable of expressing complex language rather than just basic alerts. Centuries later, another remarkable invention appeared. It was called the heliograph, a name that literally means sunwriter. The heliograph used mirrors to reflect sunlight across long distances in carefully timed flashes. Operators would aim a polished mirror toward a distant observer and send coded signals by briefly covering and uncovering the reflected light. Versions of this technique were known in ancient times, but it became especially important in the 19th century. Military forces discovered that heliographs could send messages across deserts, mountains, and wide valleys without needing wires or smoke. Under clear skies, these flashes of sunlight could travel as far as 30 miles. A soldier standing on a distant hill could read the pattern of flashes using a telescope and then relay the message further along the chain. During conflicts in the American West and parts of the British Empire, heliographs became valuable tools for military communication. Yet even the cleverest optical systems had one major weakness. They required clear weather and daylight. Clouds, darkness, and storms could instantly shut down the entire network. Humanity needed something more reliable. The breakthrough came during one of the most exciting scientific revolutions in history: the discovery and harnessing of electricity. In the early 19th century, scientists and inventors began experimenting with ways to send electrical signals through metal wires. Electricity moved incredibly fast, far faster than any human or horse. If it could be controlled properly, it might allow messages to travel enormous distances almost instantly. One of the people who became fascinated by this idea was an American painter named Samuel Morse. His interest in communication was deeply personal. While traveling away from home, Morse received a message that his wife had suddenly become ill. The message took so long to reach him that by the time he returned, she had already died and been buried. This tragedy left a lasting impression on him. Morse became obsessed with the idea that messages should be able to travel instantly. By the 1830s, he had developed a practical solution. His invention, known as the electric telegraph, used electrical pulses sent through long wires. At the receiving end, a small device would move in response to each pulse, creating marks on a strip of paper. Short pulses produced short marks. Longer pulses produced longer marks. These patterns became known as Morse code. Instead of letters, the system used combinations of dots and dashes. Once operators learned the code, they could send messages extremely quickly. On May 24, 1844, Morse demonstrated the power of his invention by sending a message from Washington to Baltimore. The message contained a phrase from the Bible: "What had God wrote?" It marked the beginning of a new era. Telegraph lines soon spread across entire continents. Railroads used telegraphs to coordinate trains and prevent collisions. Newspapers received news from distant cities within minutes instead of weeks. Governments could send urgent orders almost instantly. The telegraph dramatically shrank the world. For the first time in history, information could travel faster than any physical object carrying it. Yet something was still missing. Telegraph messages had to be encoded and decoded. Only trained operators could understand them. What people really wanted was something simpler and more human. They wanted to hear each other's voices. That breakthrough arrived in 1876 with the invention of the telephone. Alexander Graham Bell, a Scottish-born inventor and teacher of the deaf, had been experimenting with ways to transmit sound electrically. During one famous experiment, Bell accidentally spilled acid on himself and called out to his assistant in another room. "Mr. Watson, come here, I want to see you." To his astonishment, Watson heard the words clearly through the experimental device. The first successful telephone call had just taken place. Within a few decades, telephone networks began spreading across cities and countries. Large switchboards allowed operators to connect calls manually by plugging cables into the correct circuits. When someone picked up a telephone receiver, an operator would ask the now famous question: "Number, please." Although the process seemed slow by modern standards, it was revolutionary at the time. People could now speak with friends, family, or business partners who were miles away. Voices could travel across cities, countries, and oceans. However, telephones were still tied to physical wires. If you wanted to make a call, you had to be near a telephone line. The dream of wireless communication had already begun to capture the imagination of scientists. In the late 19th century, the Italian inventor Guglielmo Marconi demonstrated that radio waves could carry signals through the air without any wires at all. His wireless telegraph systems allowed ships at sea to communicate with coastal stations, greatly improving safety for sailors. Radio technology continued to evolve throughout the early 20th century. Eventually, mobile radio systems appeared in vehicles and emergency services. Police cars, taxis, and ships could communicate while moving. But true personal mobile communication still seemed like science fiction. That changed in 1973. On April 3rd of that year, a Motorola engineer named Martin Cooper stood on a sidewalk in New York City holding a device unlike anything the world had seen before. It was large, heavy, and far from elegant, weighing more than 2 pounds. But it had one remarkable ability. It could make a telephone call without any wires. Cooper dialed the number of a rival researcher and announced he was calling from a mobile phone. The device later became famous as the Motorola Dynatec. It offered about 30 minutes of talk time and took nearly 10 hours to recharge. When commercial versions finally reached the market in the 1980s, they cost nearly $4,000. Despite the price and size, the idea was revolutionary. For the first time, communication was no longer tied to a fixed location. During the 1990s, mobile phone technology improved rapidly. Digital cellular networks replaced earlier analog systems, providing clearer calls and more efficient use of radio frequencies. One of the most important milestones occurred in 1991 when the first GSM digital cellular network launched in Finland. GSM made international mobile communication far easier and more reliable. It also introduced a feature that few people initially expected to become so popular: text messaging. On December 3, 1992, an engineer named Neil Petworth sent the first SMS message from a computer to a mobile phone. The message was simple and cheerful. It read, "Merry Christmas." What began as a small technical demonstration soon transformed the way millions of people communicated. Text messaging became especially popular among young users who developed creative abbreviations. By the late 1990s, mobile phones were becoming smaller and more affordable. Then came another turning point. In 1999, a technology called WAP allowed limited internet access on mobile phones. The experience was slow and awkward, but it hinted at something extraordinary: the internet in your pocket. That vision became reality in 2007. During a famous presentation in San Francisco, Apple co-founder Steve Jobs introduced a device that would redefine personal technology. He explained that Apple was about to reinvent the phone by combining three revolutionary products into one device: a mobile phone, a widescreen music player, and a powerful internet communicator. The result was the iPhone. Unlike earlier smartphones, it relied entirely on a touchscreen interface. Users could browse the web, send emails, take photos, and run applications on a sleek device. The success of the iPhone triggered a massive wave of innovation. In 2008, Google launched the Android operating system, allowing manufacturers to produce their own smartphones. Within just a few years, smartphones spread across the globe. Billions of people suddenly carried powerful computers everywhere. Communication itself began to change. It was no longer limited to voice calls. People could instantly share photographs, videos, voice recordings, and live broadcasts. Social media platforms transformed ordinary users into global publishers. Messaging apps allowed conversations to flow across continents in real time. High-speed mobile networks made all of this possible. Now the world stands at another technological frontier. Fifth-generation mobile networks, known as 5G, promise even faster speeds and lower latency. These networks allow devices to exchange information almost instantly, opening the door to new possibilities such as augmented reality, autonomous vehicles, and remote medical procedures. Today, the smartphone in your pocket is far more powerful than the computers that guided astronauts to the moon. And yet, despite all this extraordinary technology, the basic human desire behind it remains exactly the same as it was thousands of years ago. We still want to share information. We still want to warn others about danger. We still want to celebrate good news, exchange ideas, and stay connected with the people who matter to us. From smoke rising above ancient fires to invisible waves, the story of communication is really the story of humanity itself. Each new invention solved one problem while revealing new possibilities. Every generation found a way to reach farther than the one before it. And the journey is far from over. Perhaps the next revolution will allow people to communicate through holograms that appear in the room beside us. Maybe one day, technology will connect our thoughts directly from one mind to another. No one knows exactly what the future will bring. But one thing is certain. As long as humans exist, we will continue searching for new ways to bridge the distance between us. Because communication has never been only about technology. It has always been about connection.